Hi everyone, welcome to Dennis Deep Cuts, the 56th installment of this fine YouTube series. Today we're going to talk about jazz music and record collecting. Let's see what happens. Alright, welcome to Deep Cuts. Today I have a very special guest. This is my good friend Mats Gustafsson, who is a free jazz saxophone player.
You can say.
Yeah, you can say. And an avid record collector. So we're going to talk a little bit about him, his background, and a bit about your record collecting, and then we're going to do some fun stuff.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So tell people that people might not know who you are really if they're not in the free jazz world.
They should be.
Well, they should know. They should know who you are, but you know what I mean. It's you're not maybe like a household name for rock people.
No.
Even though you have toured and recorded with Sonic Youth and Jim O'Rourke, but you've also had numerous of your own bands and projects.
It's it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of research to be made, and we do stuff together.
Yes,
but we both come from here, from Umeå, and that was actually a very good start in life, you can say. And I mean, the whole punk rock scene exploded when I was 14, 15. The timing was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You guys showed up a bit later.
Yes.
But I started to play in punk rock bands. But the only instrument I learned was like the flute, and that was not so punk.
No.
You know. And then I heard Sonny Rollins, who is a really big name in jazz, and one of the fathers of jazz saxophone playing. He played at the local jazz festival here in town.
Very famous jazz festival.
Super great festival. Still really good.
Yeah.
And actually that's where we played with Backengrillen.
Yes, because we have a band together called Backengrillen with David and Magnus from Fused.
Yeah.
We were supposed to play yesterday, but Magnus had surgery in his hand, so we didn't play yesterday. But you're here doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, you saw Son Rollins at the jazz festival,
and I fell in love with the saxophone, and I wanted to start playing saxophone. And since in Sweden we have this music school for kids where you can learn an instrument for free, basically. It used to be like that. So I went down to the music school and asked if I could learn saxophone playing, and they had no teacher, but they had a saxophone. So I got a saxophone and I started to play, and I wanted to do punk rock on the saxophone, and I made all mistakes I possibly could do. And then I heard Peter Brutzmann, who is like the godfather of free jazz, European free jazz, and that blew me away completely, because there was like the energy of punk. Yeah. But it just sounded different. It smelled different. So I tried to play like free music with punk rock energy together with a couple of friends in Umeå, and then Umeå became too small, and I moved to Stockholm, and then I connected with a lot of people there. But this whole, do it yourself. That whole mentality, the whole scene is still so unbelievably valid, and that's the reason why I do music. Is still, you do stuff not for your own sake. You do it for other people, and I produce a lot of records for other people. I put up concert series or festivals. I mean, you need to make things happen. And that's the only way. So I'm very happy for the Umeå start, so to speak. And then I love punk, garage, hardcore, all, and it inspires me a lot, you know. But I was deep down in the free music swamp for many years, and sometimes it's good to dive really deep and like this, and don't look at other music.
Just focus on what you're into.
On one thing, and go as deep as you can, and then open up and explore. And I feel very grateful for doing that. But now it's really what I feel mostly involved in is actually trying to find a bridge between this so-called free music and the energy and the like in your face attitude of more radical rock music.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where I am.
Yeah,
you know, still.
That's what we're trying to do with Backengrillen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What? So this is your. You just gave me this. Fire is your current band.
This is the
Fire is also because this is as a trio, right?
Yeah.
But you also do Fire Orchestra, where you're anything from 5 to 20 people, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually between 12 is the smallest version we had, and the biggest version is 43.
That's a lot of people.
And then we have David Sandström from Refused on drums and vocals, and so it's a variety of people from both rock and like free music, contemporary music, and even folk music. So it's a mix, and it's very riff-based music. So it again going back to the roots a little bit.
Yeah, that is your latest.
That's the latest, and that's a Steve Albini produced record. We recorded in Chicago last winter.
Yeah. So, a couple of questions. Why did you start playing the flute when you were 13? That's such a weird thing.
The flute, I started really early, like when I was 7.
Oh, okay.
But it was like only classical music, and then I got into punk rock.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, like late Miles, My Vision Orchestra, that kind of music, together with some friends from Umeå. But of course, flute was not satisfying as an instrument. But now I'm back playing flute with Backengrillen, for instance. And,
it's great.
With some...
But it's just a weird, because I mean, most... when you're young and you're into music, like you want to become a guitar player or you know, drummer maybe, but...
It really fucked up. It's really weird. I have no idea why it went that direction. I actually always dreamt about playing the electric bass.
Yeah.
Because I thought it looked so fucking cool when you had it down there. Not like the fusion thing.
Not the fusion bass.
No, but like...
Yeah.
But no...
I played in a band once, and we were supposed to get a new bass player, and I wasn't there for like the tryouts for the bass player, and our guitar player said, well, he's cool, he's got the bass really low, so it's good. So that was like the only criteria for him being in the band, like
state of
your bass is really low.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Stockholm, and you've been playing, I mean, free jazz type of music your entire life. Do you know, because you Fire Orchestra, you did a band called The Thing for a long time,
20 years,
and a couple of other projects as well. I mean, do you know? This is a difficult question. I can see your. Do you know how many records that you put out with your different bands? And this is not you playing on someone else's record, because
no,
I mean, that's
with my own music. I think it's at least 150 records.
150 records. And then how many records have you played on in your life?
250 maybe. It's too many, I know.
No, but it's quite impressive, because like we talked about this when we did the Backengrillen project. So we met on a Thursday, practice, we had some riffs. We played a show on Friday, we recorded a record on Saturday. And this is like 3 of the Refused guys. Usually it takes us 5 years to do a record. No, in the jazz world it's a bit different.
Yeah, but I think the Backengrillen was an extraordinary exception in a way, because I like when we did a thing with Albini and Fire, it was a 3-day session, and that's needed. I think. I mean, if you work in a studio, you should use the studio as a studio, not just play live. I was pretty hardcore, like live recordings is the only true way of, you know, for a long time. And then I was like, why do I do this? Because I love being in the studio and work slow.
There's a lot of stuff you can do in the studio that you can't do live.
Exactly, and why wouldn't you do that? So now I'm a bit the opposite. I don't really like putting out live records.
All right.
I like to be in the studio. I like the whole process of being in the studio. And you work with a good engineer. It's fun. You learn a lot. So
it's true. You can add a lot more layers to it if you have time. But then again, the Backengrillen is completely recorded live, and on the record there's, because we have a record that's coming out hopefully later this year.
Yeah, sure.
And there's also a live song on the record.
Oh yeah.
Because we did a tour last year and we recorded all the shows live.
And we fucked up in the studio version of the piece a little bit.
That's all right. You fuck it up. That's part of the thing. So the people probably know you most if they're rock people that you toured with Sonic Youth and you recorded. How did that come about?
Through record collecting.
Oh,
of course.
Which is going to be our next. It's a good segue into the next thing. But
no, that's how it works. I mean, actually, Thurston Moore knew about me, and he knew about me as a record collector and stuff. And we met in Stockholm when Sonic Youth was playing, because Jim O'Rourke is one of my best friends. Yeah, and we met already in 1990, way back at the festival in London, Company Week. Derek Bailey, who was really famous guitar player, put together, and I think Jim was 19 or something.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And then Jim started with Sonic Youth, and Jim told Thurston, "You need to see this Mats Gustafsson guy when you're in Stockholm." So Thurston got in touch with me, and I said, "Yeah, I work at this record store, like really good, like free jazz record store, so we could meet there."
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 days later, he showed up. He said hi. He said hi to the main guy, Harald, who runs the shop, and he started to look around. And I thought he was acting a bit like a jerk, a little, because like there was not like heartfelt, like best regards from Jim, or he started looking. Okay, he does what he does, And after 2 hours, he had a pile of records and blah blah blah, and I put them together, gave him a good price, and then he said, "Yeah, so what are you doing tonight? You want to come to the show?" "Yeah, sure. I would love to come." Yeah. "So what's your name?" "Mats Gustafsson."
Yeah.
And then he realized it was me, because he was expecting a guy with a long beard and shit. So it was like this whole like fuck up of misunderstanding. It was beautiful. We had a really good time. And I mean, after that we started work together, and I toured and recorded with Sonic Youth, and we did shitloads of duo, trio projects, more noisy stuff. And it's not over yet. It's a great experience. Yeah,
cool. Right. All right, but that's a perfect segue into record collecting, because you have something called Discoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, it started as a trio actually with Thurston, Jim, and me.
Yeah. For
a tour in Japan.
Yeah.
And we made a record called Trade Only. The Discoholics Anonymous trio. It was one of the best decisions ever. And we were posting stuff on like the Sonic Youth website and blah blah blah. Like we had all these shows in Japan, and people could come to the shows with trade records.
Yeah.
And they could trade our trade only record. It was not for sale for money, but he could swap to something.
And you sent them want list, I assume.
Yeah. We sent a want list. Actually, I think we posted a want list. But then after the gigs we played, it was fantastic, amazing tour. We had this line of people standing with the records, and offering this. Is this good enough? Like, yeah, sure, yeah. No, like, we got some amazing shit. But it was the trade only record.
Yeah.
I still have a few copies if you...
That's such a... please, I'll trade you with... you get some... I'll trade you some.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Thurston and Jim both being discoholics and collectors, and it's a very interesting way... It's a very interesting social situation to be with record collectors.
Yeah.
Because you would guess, like when we were there... This is a perfect example. We had a tour, I don't know, we did 5 or 6 gigs or something like this. And we had this is early 2000s, so not much activity on the internet. We had this book of record shops, Japanese record shops. So every day we met for breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning, very serious. We looked in the book and like, what part of Tokyo or Kyoto shall we go? And that shop. And then taxi and boom, or train or boom, boom, boom. Super effective. Yeah. And then the front of house guy, he set up all the instruments, including my saxophone.
So you didn't have to, you just went to record store for the
record store, and then straight to the gig. Yeah. No sound check.
That is perfect.
Super short line check, and then boom, boom, and introduce after the concert, and then sleep a little bit, and then the same routine next day.
Sounds like a dream.
No, it was fucking amazing.
We need to go to Japan with Backengrillen.
Exactly.
Exclusive copies. That we
I mean, Japan is still it's hardcore when it comes to record collecting and stuff. But what I wanted to say is like you would think in a situation like in record shops there would be competition. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I need this. You know? Or like no, it's so great. Like if you do it with people you really like and trust and respect and all the stuff, like as it is with the music. It's more like, do you have this?
Yeah.
You take
I've been to record stores with you. I know exactly how it goes.
It's great. It's fantastic.
You need this one. I'm like, I guess I need this one.
The most beautiful thing you can do with your clothes on is to recommend shit for people. You know?
Yes, it is a beautiful thing, and that's my whole YouTube channel is about recommending music to people.
Yeah.
So when did you realize? Because here's the thing, I started buying records early. I was a young kid, and I just kept buying records because that's the way you listen to record. Because there was no internet, there was no streaming services.
The only way.
So the only way you bought records and I loved collecting and buying. So for a long time, I didn't see myself as a record collector. I was just a guy that bought a lot of records. When was the day when you're like, oh no, I am a record collector? Because it's a difference between just buying records and being like, I love music, and being a record collector. Because there's something about us. It is a different level.
You turn into an obsessed person. You know, it's a game changer in a way. I had the same. I mean, I grew up in Umeå, and my first hero was Little Richard.
Yep.
And really quickly, this I understood much later. I wanted to have all his records. It was not enough with two. I wanted everything. And we had a lot of record shops in Umeå back in the day. Like they're all gone except one, Purmas. And it was a dream going down to Stockholm when I was like 12 or 13, and I could visit other record shops and find other Little Richard records.
Yeah.
But I was not obsessed, but I still wanted...
Pretty obsessed.
Yeah, quite honest. But I think, I mean, when I moved down, I was 19, I moved down to Stockholm, and I started to write down in my notebook how many John Coltrane records do I have, how many Miles Davis, and making statistics.
That's
together with my best friend.
That's when you're in trouble.
That's when I understood, and my best friend, Edward, he said, fuck this shit, this is stupid, like why should we like... I don't know, because it's fun.
But I also think for me it was like I was buying a lot of records. Always buying a lot of records. And then one day I bought that really expensive 7-inch. You know that hurdle when you're like, now I'm not just buying records anymore, now I'm buying something that's actually, this is way too expensive.
You can't afford it.
Yeah, I can't afford it. The tour budget was gone on that 7-inch. But I was like, I really need this, and that's kind of, I mean, this is 25 years ago, but that was like the starting point of like, now I'm actually collecting records. Now it's not only because I love music, and there was a different thing. What was the first, like, do you remember the first like expensive record you bought? Then you're like, oh shit, I'm actually spending money on this record.
Yeah, I mean, I have exactly the same. It's like so many tours I did when I came home without money.
Yeah, but that's every
But
tour.
with a really great pile of records.
Yeah.
And my then girlfriend was like, wait a minute, this does not pay the bills. This is not working. So yeah, I mean, that's how it works. You know, but no regrets. You know.
Yeah. But do you remember that record that was like going over the threshold of like now it's nice to going to the record store buying records, now it's something different?
Yeah, I remember I paid it's this Norwegian saxophone player, Jan Garbarek, who his early stuff is extraordinary. It's fucking amazing. With Terje Rypdal, guitar player.
Okay.
So it's kind of quite rocky. It takes off a little bit from the late 60s Miles kind of thing, with long guitar and stuff. And then Jan Garbarek went into more esoteric territories, nature music kind of thing. Whatever, it's whatever floats your boat. It's okay. He's a great saxophone player, but the early stuff is killer. It's so fucking good. And his first record is more jazz based than this ECM kind of thing. And I really wanted this record, and it was 600 US.
Yeah. Okay.
And at that point, that was like all the money I would earn on a tour, basically. But I was so desperate to have it, and I bought it.
And you don't regret it?
Never, ever.
Well, at that time,
at the time it was like I was sweating. It was, it's a terrible feeling and a great feeling.
Yeah, that's a thing too that people don't understand. Like when you find that record and it's a really expensive one, it's quite anguishing. You're like, oh fuck, and then you have to buy it, and you feel a little bit sick to your stomach, but you also feel super excited. Yeah, and especially when it's like really expensive. You know, like, oh shit, I'm actually spending like a lot of money on this record.
It means something extra. I mean, that aspect of. I mean, I've never been sitting on a lot of money ever, and neither have my family. We're musicians. We're doing this
you play free
commercial
jazz,
music, underground shit, you know. Yeah. And it means even more because if we had a lot of money,
but then it wouldn't be the same thing.
No, it wouldn't mean anything. It somehow it has to hurt. A little. And I love that. I love that process. But I mean, my way of trimming my garden. Is trading. And because money, like the rare records in hardcore and jazz and free jazz, in all genres, the rare ones are getting so ridiculously expensive. You can't afford it, paying for it. So touring life is great. You go to record shops, and you know, my mentality was like, whenever I see, and I built up this knowledge, of course, and experience, and whenever I see a really good record, not too expensive, I buy it. And then I sit on it, and I can trade on it. So I have a pretty big
trade,
couple of meters of trade objects, and that has been working extremely well.
Oh, that's perfect.
And now I do, since 5 years, I do this auction once a year. And again, it's, of course, I mean, I get some money in from some of the records, and I help some of my colleagues and friends to sell their records and stuff. But it's most of all a way of trading records. People, are you looking for something special? Yes, I am. Like, and trimming the garden.
That's cool. So I have a question. I asked you this many times, and you would never give me a straight answer. Do you know how many records you have?
3 tons.
3 tons of records.
Or if you want, 56 meters.
56 meters records. I don't know what that is. That's a lot of records.
You have to figure out. No, it's a lot. But Lasse Maurhaug, this Norwegian noise musician, he had this expression of trimming your garden, and I'm much better in getting stuff into my collection than taking shit out. But it's good sometimes to get rid of some stuff. I mean, it doesn't make sense to sit on stuff that you don't like. So I'm in the process of trimming more now than 5 years ago, and that's a good feeling, because it's also, I have a really good collection with free jazz and improvised music. I have a really good collection with like ethnic music, world music, which I love, and a decent rock collection as well. But I have many gaps, and I rather buy stuff there and get rid of some
gaps.
And get rid of some of the jazz I don't listen to, especially if it's expensive stuff. Then I can. So you navigate through your collecting life.
What a couple more record collecting questions, and then we're gonna do something different. But do you know what your most prized possession is in your collection? I mean, like the most expensive record.
Emotionally or economically?
Well, both, I guess.
It's a very hard. I always sort of refuse to answer in a way.
Right, so you don't have to.
No. It's. I mean, I have some unique records. You know, like some test pressings and acetates, and also my most beloved record is the first Albert Eiler record that this guy Bengt Frippe Nordström put out in 1962. Something Different. It's a very rare record, really expensive, like 2,000-3,000 euros or something like that. But I have the original mock-up.
Oh wow!
Like the handwritten lettering, the original photos, actually 4 different photos that he was figuring out which one to use, and that's a museum piece, and
that's pretty wild.
It's pretty impossible to put a price.
That's never been sold. I mean, that's just
no. I mean that's a
one of a kind
5-digit thing.
Wow!
But emotionally, I would never ever sell that.
No,
and,
of course.
It's the same thing with this guy Bengt Frippe Nordström. He was a saxophone player, and he recorded a duet with Don Cherry, famous free jazz trumpet player. And same thing. I have a mock-up of this record as well. Yeah. Like with a hand painting and writing and stuff. I can never. I mean, but that's like a, I don't know, 15,000-20,000 US something.
Wow.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I can't.
No. That makes. I mean, as you say, it's a museum piece more than anything else. I mean,
that makes it so. Yeah.
Different level. Yeah.
At some point, I need to find a way to like deposit those kind of records in some kind of archive or something. You know, but not now.
Wow.
Later.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Because I mean, one of the things, because both you and me have been collecting records for a long time. I mean, and buying records for a long time. If you're a young kid now, it's kind of hard to get into record collecting because records are getting quite expensive. Even like the meat and potatoes of records are getting quite pricey. But do you have any tips for if you want to start collecting records? Like, do you have any good tips for that? Or
curiosity is everything. You
yes.
know, do your research, and it's much more fun to do the research in record shops than online.
Yes.
Because you have an object, you have a liner notes, you have all this stuff going on. And I have to say, it's not so bad in a way right now. The bad thing is like the new produced records are ridiculously expensive. To pay like $45-50 for a new record.
Yeah,
I'd rather have
Fleetwood Mac record.
A few pints.
Yeah.
But second-hand stuff.
Yeah. You can still find good stuff.
You can still find really cheap, extremely great stuff. There are of course rare stuff and the prices goes up. But then you have to start trading. Yeah.
But I think that's a good point because we live in this sort of online world where everything's available on Discogs, etc., etc. But there's something, the physical manifestation of going to a record store. Because I mean, on your, I don't know if you won't have Discogs, but I have a Discogs like want list, and then I know. But when you go to a record store, you can flip and you I don't know what this is, and then you start looking at the label, the year, and you're like, oh, I need this. I didn't even know I needed it.
Yeah.
But that is something about going to record stores you can never really find online in the same way. Just just like, oh, what is this? This looks interesting.
The physical process, and it happened to me so many times in a record shop, and you pull a record and it says something.
Yeah, exactly.
It communicates with you.
I need this record now.
It could be the image, or it could be the label. It could be the year. It could be. I mean, there's some really great.
The players. You're like, holy shit! I didn't know this person did this.
It's so interesting. There's some good texts written by my friend John Corbett about this, like record collecting procedures and what happens when you. And that's what I like the association, the chain of association.
Yeah.
A record label, for instance, and shit, I have a couple of records on this label, and I recognize the engineer's name or something.
Yeah.
But this happened only when you pull the record and you check it out.
You look at the records,
And of course, sometimes you buy something and it's crap.
Yep.
But then
that happens. But then it pass it on.
It's part of the process, and I love this process. I also found records that I never read about, and they are kick-ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's sometimes you find records that you didn't even know you wanted.
I love it. We should go record shopping today.
We should go record shopping, but let's do one more thing first. This is gonna be fun. All right, so this is hopefully this will be fun. I mean, this is all very improvised, but I've been buying records for a very long time, and I never bought jazz records, and I never really got into jazz music because I'm quite afraid that if I get into jazz, I have to buy another 200 records.
It's a
you know what I mean? It's a likely scenario that's going to happen.
Sure.
But I have a couple of jazz records, and now you're going to review my jazz collection.
Ooh, I like it.
And here it is.
Look at this. All
right, so we got
Space is a place, man. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, fuck yeah. This is. I've never seen this.
It's a repress, brand new repress from
but it's
Third Man Records.
Yeah,
it's a brand new.
I never seen this.
Yeah, it's brand
This
new.
smells good, man.
Yeah.
No, this is a great record.
It's pretty fantastic, right?
And it's a great film.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film?
I have seen the film. It's pretty wild.
It's insane.
Yeah.
When FBI is interrogating Sandra with German march music. No, this is top.
Very good.
This is
Sandra,
top.
all
This
right.
is fantastic.
This is my favorite jazz record.
Yeah, this is really.
Pharoah Sanders Karma. I love this
But
record.
this is the first press, man.
It's quite pricey, actually. I bought it not too long ago, and it's quite
Yeah,
pricey.
and this. Yeah, this is the first press. This is good. No, this is really great. I mean, this is like after Coltrane died, and this is where free jazz goes into more like kind of spiritual, emotional.
But I love it.
Stuff.
I think it's so.
This
cool.
is fantastic. There's so much shit in this genre, you know, spiritual jazz
But
stuff.
this
Is crazy. This is 5-star.
All right,
Fantastic.
and here's his latest Pharoah Sanders record. I don't know. You have it? No.
and this is a mistake.
Okay, that's
No, I mean Pharoah Sanders is such a great horn player. And this is a fair attempt.
I thought it was fine.
It's fair attempt, but for me it's too. It's not connected. It's too arty kind of thing.
Okay.
It's not like it's bad, but
It's not Karma.
It's light years from Karma.
Yeah,
There's a reason why this is called Karma.
Yeah.
So this is. It was quite a disappointment to me.
Right.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's like it doesn't do anything with me.
What about this one?
Yeah.
Mingus and the Black Saint.
This is the hippest cat ever. This guy.
Yeah.
Man, I can tell you.
I texted actually David because I was at the record store. I'm like, what about this record? And David's like, what are you talking about? You have to buy it. So I bought that one, and I bought Mingus. And then I think he said I should buy this
fantastic.
one, the Canada recordings.
Fantastic.
So these are my Mingus records.
That's a really good collection. I mean,
It's pretty good, right?
I will update you some more.
Yeah.
For sure. But Mingus is very, 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 very interesting because this guy, he was the first do-it-yourself jazz record label.
Oh.
He founded a label with Max Roach, really famous. In early 50s called Debut Records.
Okay.
So this is totally do-it-yourself without any help from bigger labels or commercial labels or anything. And so Mingus is jazz, you know.
Yeah.
But he did experiments already in 1952, 53, where they play free, they improvise freely.
Really?
Which
That's got to be some of the first improvised.
It is documented on record,
Yeah.
and almost no one knows about the shit. He did some shit with Theo Macero, who was the producer of Miles Davis in all the years.
Yeah.
In the jazz years and the Electric Miles and everything. But Theo Macero was also really, really interesting saxophone player. And he did some experiments with Mingus where they actually play free without a set form, without harmonic progressions and stuff, pre-decided stuff. Extremely important guy.
Mingus.
Yeah.
Do you know this guy? James Brandon Lewis.
Yeah.
He's a he's like the new rising star of jazz in America, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's rising stars all the time.
No, but yeah.
in jazz.
In jazz, yeah.
It's like this sickness of jazz media.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people will hate me, of course, but that's... It seems to be the case. There's like every year there's a couple of names popping up.
Yeah.
And some of them doesn't add shit to the tradition or trying to take the tradition anywhere else. This guy is an exception. I think. This guy is really good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's good.
And it's cool because the Mesthetics, which is that's half of Fugazi, and it's Brendan Canty that plays in Fake Names with me, plays drums on this track.
I didn't know.
And they just released a record with
James
Brendan Lewis and the Mesthetics as his backup band.
Oh,
so it's like he's playing with half of Fugazi. So
this guy is really interesting.
Yeah.
I need to check that out. Good.
What about this?
Woo, yay!
Thad Jones. It's also repressing Detroit, New York.
I forgive you because the music is so good.
Yeah, someone gave it to me, so I'm like,
the first press smells so good. No, this is classic jazz.
Yeah, it's jazz.
But it's extremely good, and the recording on like this early blue note stuff. the level of the recording, like the sound is amazing, and this is just pure great jazz, the way I love to hear it.
Yeah.
My problem is always like when people try to. This goes for all music. When people try to repeat something, a formula from the 50s, and they're playing it now, 2024, and trying to repeat it and make it sound
like all new punk music. No, I'm not kidding. A lot of new punk music. Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same like mentality. You try to play correct. You try to repeat something. And this is a bad mistake. You have to take the tradition and take it somewhere.
But you love this record.
This is a fantastic jazz record, 5-star.
What about this one, though? Herbie Hancock, The New Standard.
That's a new thing?
It's like an 80s record, I think.
Oh shit, I haven't heard this. This is great. Yeah, this is classic.
It's like one of those, I think it's like might be maybe released on vinyl for the first time. One of those deals. Because it's the one with covers. It's covers. Yeah.
No, I mean Herbie Hancock is fantastic, and he's still doing really good stuff, and he has really good. I mean Jack Juliet.
This is the same. I went to Third Man Records, and they gave me a bunch of because they're reissuing all of these.
See.
Yeah, because they gave me this one as well.
Yeah, that is so cool.
All right.
No, this is great musicians.
Yeah. Do you know about this band?
Yeah.
And this is also on Svart Records.
Oh, really?
And they sent this to me.
Yeah. This is part of the spiritual jazz scene.
Spiritual jazz scene.
So it's like quite soul heavy, jazz infused music.
Yeah.
This is a really good record, actually. This is a good. There's a lot of crap around, but no, this is good.
Yeah.
It's. I traded away the first press of this a while ago because I didn't like it enough.
Yeah.
But I regret it a little bit. This is bad.
Yeah. How about this one?
This
is one of my favorites.
This is
it's no comments.
Insanely great.
It's insanely great.
And the cover is good.
And this one, insanely great.
Yeah.
And The Shape of Jazz to Come.
You have a big collection here, man.
I know. The Shape of Jazz to Come.
Yeah.
Of course, because Shape of Punk, and you need this. Right?
Onette was inspired. We heard the Shape of Punk.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, this like the early Onette stuff is unbeatable. It's so full of life and love and dedication and spirituality as well. And it's not the standard way of playing jazz. It's a totally different way of playing, but it still has the swing. Yeah. I love this. It's fantastic.
Spiritual jazz. I love this record too.
This is
Alice Coltrane.
Yeah, this is fantastic record.
It's a fantastic, and it has Pharoah Sanders on it.
Exactly. Now he's on a lot of the good ones. Yeah.
Electric Bird, Donald Byrd.
That's a classic, and that's also towards the more
jazz.
Not jazz, but more like funky. Funky jazz. So it's like a club jazz thing.
All right.
I really like this. I used to hate all that like this like DJ culture.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting old, so I start to like it. But no, this is a really good record. Classic, yeah.
What about this one though? Albert Ayler.
Is it also Third Man thing?
Yeah, it's also Third Man. They're doing really, really nice reissues.
This is the papers. Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love this. Albert Ayler is my biggest hero.
It is, right?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a later record, and it's fantastic. It's funny he plays the alto on this one, and he never ever really played alto sax, but it's a
good picture.
It's great. I mean, he was trying, and his producer, they were trying to make him more kind of popular by using. He had a couple of musicians with him connected to Captain Beefheart and stuff.
Okay,
he was playing with. And the whole jazz community hated these records because it was not allowed to use like rock or funk R&B musicians on a jazz record. But I love this. I think this is fantastic, and people who says something different.
It's the only one.
Stupid.
Only Albert Ayler record that I have. So
okay, I will get you some of his other stuff. Yeah, that's promise.
Sketches, Spain.
Classic.
It's classic.
Amazing.
No, this is a pretty good record. Bitches.
I mean, all those Electric Miles records.
They're so good.
There are so many. He put out like one every second month for a while, double LPs.
But they're great.
They're absolutely marvelous.
Yeah.
Because it's really taking the modern rock, R&B, soul elements into jazz and making something new on it.
But this is fantastic.
Radical. This is fantastic.
What about Sun Ra?
Sun Ra is Sun Ra.
Angels and Demons to Play.
That's
then more
an
Sun Ra.
amazing record. Yeah, this is funky. This is
Manquility.
amazing.
I think I have
Yeah.
one more. No more Sun Ra.
Okay, no, this is original is very hard to find.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
came
don't.
out on his
some
label.
of this, because as I'm still dipping my toes, I'm not really interested in finding original this one because I have some
But
maybe
you need
some
it.
punk rock 7. Yeah, I probably need it, but there's some punk rock 7.
No, this is highest possible recommend, and this is a good entry of Sun Ra because it's pretty funky.
Yeah.
It's kind of easy access.
Yeah.
It's not like all this weird noises and
Yeah.
screaming and blah blah blah. This is really funky.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Moondog.
Yeah. This is I wouldn't call it jazz.
No,
but I would call it great.
Yeah, it's great. And this one you told me to buy.
Yeah.
Herbie Hancock,
Yeah,
Sextet.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
You
that's-
went to the record store in Örebro and you're like, you have to buy this one.
And yeah.
Yeah. And the last one.
Oh yeah, now we have
This
Lasse.
is, he's from Umeå.
Yeah.
And this is early Umeå jazz.
Yeah, this is classic
Yeah.
early Swedish jazz
Yeah.
going towards the free.
Yeah. It's not really free, it's more... But,
No, it's more
yeah.
jazz, but
Yeah.
the saxophone player is very open-minded and kick-ass, Lars-Göran Nylander, and this is this is like national romanticism
Yeah.
kind of shit. But that's a great record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my jazz record collection. What do you think?
I thought you had like 3 or something. This is
No.
amazing. No, I mean you have the good stuff.
Yeah.
I will make a note and help you a bit.
You need to
Yeah.
update me some. But yeah, it's. I mean, for being someone that's just dipping my toes, it's pretty solid.
Dipping the toes is great. I
Yeah.
love dipping my toes in different
Yeah.
genres.
Genres.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it for today. Thank you
Fantastic.
for watching, and thank you, Mats, for coming
Thank
to
you,
my
sir.
house and
Yeah.
being a part of this. And now I know even more about these jazz records, and I'm very excited to
You're
listen.
doomed.
I'm doomed. I know I'm fucked. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, stay well, my friends. Bye bye.